Alrighty traders, so let's have a look across the markets. This is going to be a technical analysis update across all the markets today. The indices, gold, silver. I'll be looking at all these different markets to give you a bit of a short-term technical analysis of what's going on and what we could be expecting this week moving forward. So that's what I want to be talking about today in today's video, guys. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, so let's get straight into today's update and let's actually see what's going on with these markets here. Let's actually start off with the good old S&P 500. So firstly on the S&P 500, the one really big thing that I'm noticing right now on the S&P 500 is indeed that we have a very strong trend line still in place through here. Really strong place through here. So the big thing I'm noticing right now is when it comes to the S&P 500 is that if I zoom right in, actually let's actually this here. So if I zoom right in, you'll be able to see that we're actually at a bit of a short, we had a gap down. And now we're actually at a bit of a short-term double top. Now, what does that mean? Probably nothing. But looking at this level here, we're at a bit of a short-term double top. Now, remember, this is the trend line here that we do indeed need to see breaking, right? Because if I now bring this out through here, if I zoom my charts a bit more, you can see that support. So we're at this level right now. If I go down to my 4-hour chart, and then go down to my hourly chart. Yeah, so you can see what's going on here, right? We're still at this double top. There's nothing really showing weakness, not yet. But there will be the really big thing I'm noticing right now when it comes to these markets is just how much greed is in these markets right now. There is so much greed. If I show you this fear and greed index right now, we can actually see that we're at this extreme greed right now, okay? And we're still at this extreme greed all through here. And the really big, amazing thing I'm noticing when it comes to a lot of people in the comment section is all about how they still believe this market is just going to keep going up. And it's really interesting to see that because, you know, if you've watched my videos, you'll know that markets just don't go straight up, right? Show me any market that just does that. And if it does do that, show me what happens afterwards, right? It goes straight back down, right? Big boom, big bust. So looking at this level through here, if I now zoom my charts right out, we can actually see what? We can actually see just how vertical this moves. So we know we're going to get some form of a pullback. Now, the trigger for me, the trigger of when I see this thing having a deep pullback would obviously be the trigger for me would be two different levels, okay? So level number one would be this major level of support through here. So that would be, tell me the number, John. Tell me the number, right? So that whole key level through there. Right now we're at a bit of a short double top. If we hold this double top here, and then we start to break down, and then we definitely start to get below, say, this, what's that level there? So 4,900 level, 4,950 level, resistance and support. This whole level through here is indeed resistance and support is indeed a level that where we see if things do start to break down from there, that's when it's going to be a complete game changer. This here, if this level breaks here, complete game changer, and that's when we're going to experience that pullback. Now, traders, mark my words, okay? And I'm not trying to be right here. I'm just trying to help you. Mark my words. Over the next 2 to 3 months, we will be in the thick of a 5 to 10% pullback. Let me say that again. I honestly, truly believe that in the next 2 to 3 months, I say the next 2 to 3 months because no one knows exactly when the pullback's going to start. I believe if we start to get, say, once again, if we start to get something like this, right, then guess what? Then we're probably going to get something like that, and then we're going to start to see a real big sort of 10%. Now, I'm calling for a 10% pullback. Now, what is that? Not a crash, right? No crash, right? And you know, the big thing is, guys, is actually in that free trading course, guys, that first link in the description there, phase number 1, I talk about the 13 biggest mistakes that people make. And one of those mistakes is people trying to use FOMO to get into these markets, right? Like, oh, Because there's two sides of FOMOs right now. One FOMO is I'm going to buy the market because I think the market's going to keep going up because David Hunter said 6,000, here we go, melt up, I better get involved with it. Right, that's phase number one. That's FOMO number one. FOMO number two is like, oh my goodness, the market's going to crash, I better get in now. That's actually completely wrong. You shouldn't be getting in any of those, right? Right now, yes, I am involved with the markets. Yes, I am in some trading opportunities. But that's due to my trading system. And again, in that free trading course, guys, phase number 4 in the trading course, I teach you my system for free. That's that first link in the description there. But the purpose of me saying this is that over the next 2 to 3 months, we will be in a 5 to 10% correction. Then yes, I do believe we're going to then experience an incredible bull market second half of this year into next year for when it comes down to what? When it comes down to this overall market. So the first thing I do see, guys, is a really big movement on the downside, right? Really big movement on the downside. So support all through here. Then we have resistance, and then I'm looking for a 10%. Now, what is a 10% correction? A 10% correction, if that was here, that would be, we're looking at around about, probably that. I'd have to say around about that level there, that 4,600 level looks like a pretty good strong area of where I do see this thing starting to pull back to. Okay, so, and then, but this is the short-term analysis here. Okay, this is short-term daily charts. What does that mean for the big picture? Now let's actually talk about big picture. So big picture is what? And actually, isn't that interesting, traders? Look at this here. That level that I just drew, what number did I say? 4,600? Check out this baby. That whole resistance level there is what? 4,600. So that's all I see is a pullback to there. Then what do I see? Now, all right, this is the weekly chart, remember, guys. In the big picture things, what do I see? Now, and I've already got some trend lines here, right? So that's actually, what's that? Start of 2000. I do see probably, so that's the end of, let's clone you. And I want to come to the middle of this year. So the middle of this year for me, guys, would be around about that level there. June, July. Now, why am I doing this here? Let me zoom in here. I do see we're probably, if I'm looking at sort of a betting man, that 5 to 10% pullback is what? Remember, that's just 5%. And then I see something like this, and then I see something like this, and then yes, then I see something like that, and then I see something like that. All right, that's just what I see. Now, the big thing, what I'm doing right now, guys, I'm just giving you my opinion on what I see. Really important, really important that you just don't trade based off that. Now, if I do get a good pullback, I will be a good buyer of dips through here. And if I can buy some leap options, for 1 to 2 years worth of time, I believe they're going to be incredibly valuable. So if we start to get a really big pullback, and guess what's going to happen on the pullback, guys? Guess when we're getting very close to a bottom in the market. Firstly, it's probably going to be a 10% overall pullback. And this is, now when I say bottom of the move, right? Firstly, it's going to be let me draw this trend line from here to here. See that level there? See how X marks the spot? So if we start to get down towards this level here, right? If we start to get down towards this 4,600 level, guess what also is going to happen? And this is where it's going to be really awesome, guys. Okay, I'm just trying to give you a heads up. There could be an amazing buying opportunity where, especially using options, 500 to 1,000% return over the next 12 months to 2 years after this correction is possible, I believe, if you know how to buy the right option and so on and so forth. Guess what's going to happen? This fear and greed index is going to come back down here to ultimately this fear here. And when we start to get to the extreme fear, and we also get what? And we also get this overall big pullback in the markets, then guess what's coming? Aha! Now we're about to see this pullback is going to then be a slingshot move, I believe, into this really big move to the upside. Now I've got, if you can see here, this is a weekly chart once again, guys, and you can see that I've gotten like a bit of a channel here. This is like just zoomed in, a bit of a channel here. So this may or may not be that's that 7,000. If that's the end of that level there, so that's 6.5, that's 6 or 7,000. But again, guys, what I do see here is pullback first. Let the market pull back. If you want to be long these markets, the high probability is wait for that 10% pullback. Wait for people to start to freak out, and then the talking heads in the media and the fear and greed index all being fear. That's when you start to go long. Right now, people are like, no, David Hunter said melt up. It's like, come on, guys, be smart, okay? I want you guys to be around 20 years. I've been trading the markets now for 20 years, guys, okay? I'm trying to give you guys a 20-year bit of a shortcut, is that Don't be buying when most people are saying things are going to happen, right? Why has the recession not happened? Because most people, including this guy, were saying the recession is going to come. Now we do know the recession will come, right? Now when will the recession come? Let's actually do this here. Now we're talking. Actually, I'm now touching on the actual recession side of things, but let me show you this here, right? Because I think it's actually it's a really interesting thing, guys. When we come to this here, no, I don't want this here. When the recession will come is when we actually start to, let me actually see if I can zoom in a bit more, right? When we actually start to get this is the yield curve, okay? If you go to guru.com/gurufocused.com yield curve, you'll be able to see what? You'll be able to see this whole thing through here, this low level through here, and then you'll be able to start to see, once we actually start to get back above this level here, we're roughly around 12 months to the recession, right? Because you can see here, it gets up here, and then when we rally for a good 6 to 12 months, recession. Get above, rally 6 to 12 months, recession. Get above, rally 6 to 12 months, get a recession there, right? If I come back down to this level through here, same sort of thing. You can see that when we actually get above it first, then it rallies for 6 to 12 months, then the recession actually starts to become involved with it, right? So that's the reason why, guys, we've probably got not a recession coming yet, but I see an incredible move. Now, when is the recession going to come? The recession is going to come when? When everyone's saying like, oh, no, John, no, recession, no come, recession not happening, here we go, right? That's when we start to see what? Recession coming. So that's what I'm seeing through there on the good old S&P 500. Let's go look at the good old Dow Jones. Now, I believe, guys, I really, truly believe the Dow Jones is going to be one of those things, one of those markets that's going to make incredible, incredible moves. And I'm seeing this from the same sort of thing as what I said on the S&P 500. This is the weekly chart now, guys. If I look at this from a daily chart, let's go look at this daily chart perspective here, and let's go zoom in to looking at this from a short-term level basis, right? So we have this level through here. We got a bit of a short-term double top through here. Again, just the whole scenario would be waiting. If we start to break below, say 38,000, then that's probably when we're going to start to see this overall pullback. Now, once again, traders, right? See a big move to the upside. Now let's go to the weekly charts here. Now, what do we see here, right? We see very first big move up. And what tends to happen a lot of the times, what can actually happen is this. And this happens this is actually happening right now in one market. And I'm not going to tell you what market that is because I actually just went along this market. But guess what? When the market does this, who's in control? When we're looking at the buyers and the sellers, right? Who's in control? No one, right? Why? Because the market's just gone sideways. The buyers and sellers are fighting it out. Then guess what happens? We rip up what? We've done that. Who's now starting to show more of a strength in this market than the other? The buyers, right? And then guess what happens? We come back down. We start to form a higher low. We start to do that. We may do something like that. And then away we go. Make sense? So this here is no one in control. And then the buyers start to show their hand before they start to make a big move up. This is exactly what happened when Donald Trump was elected, right? Back in 2016, 17. So, and again, there's one market out there right now that's actually doing this right now, okay? And so the purpose of me saying that and bringing that up to you is because if we actually have a look at this level through here, right? If we actually have a look at this level, we have this whole resistance and support level through here. What do we see? I do see this thing pulling back because now we had what? A first move up. Buyers are finally showing some strength in these markets. Buyers are finally showing some strength. Here we go. But not yet. We don't buy it yet. Why? Come back down. This would be the time to buy it, and then we start to see something like this. This move here is going to be the real move. Not now. Not now. This is just priming the pump. Right? Priming the pump, and then bam, away we go. Make sense? So that's what I'm looking for when it comes to the Dow Jones there. And then the Dow Jones, then the Dow Jones could start to see, what is that? Right? So from there to there, right? Yeah, then we could start to see what? Possibly a 40 to, let's say 40,000, probably maybe up to a 50,000 Dow, right? In this move towards, and then when this thing's just probably going, look at this here. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. come back down, find support, and then away we go, right? This pullback here, guys, is going to be the pullback of the century. Maybe the century, maybe not the century, but yeah. Now, when it comes to the good old techie stocks, guys, the big level you want to see for is probably this level through here, right? Really, really, really simple. We have this, I'm not sure why I have that level up there for, but we see this level through here. So if I go back to the daily charts now, and I zoom in, right? Now what do we see? Now we see if I get something like this coming down through here, that's when we're probably going to start to see something like that, right? But we definitely need some form of a pullback. Now, what is a pullback, guys? This level through here, right? Pullback, away we go. Pullback, and away we go as well too, right? So we can see it through there. Let's go look at the good old Russell. What's the Russell doing right now? The Russell is a really interesting thing because we're starting to show a bit of strength out of the Russell, right? Russell's been one of those, I see, right? Resistance level through here, support level through here. What do we see now? We see this very big move up, big move down, and now we're actually starting to find a bit of support level through here. We're starting to break through these levels through here, and this is where we are right now. So this is actually finally, out of all this time, starting to show some strength. So the Russell, to me, guys, looks like it's going to really start to make some big moves out of the markets here. Let's go look at gold. Now, gold is actually, I've been talking about this with my private clients now for quite some time. Okay, let's look at this here. So the weekly chart is what? The weekly chart is indeed in a strong upward trend, right? Very strong, up, down, and we have this whole resistance level through it. That's what's happening with the good old what? With the good old gold chart. Now, here's when it gets really interesting, guys. Check this out, right? Let me go deep, y'all, right? So we have that overall big picture level through here. Now, let's zoom right in a bit through here. Now, where we are right now, there's a few different levels that I'm focusing on, right? So the first level I'm focusing on is probably that level through there, possibly even that level through there, right? That'll be that level, I'd say. Let's use that level. And then the second level I'm looking for, as I'm keeping an eye out for, is I'd have to say around about, that level there, right? Now, why is this important? Look what's happened through here, right? Look at this happen. This is the market can do this sometimes. Sometimes we have an overall upward trend. So this could be the weekly chart. We have an up, down, and then we go back up, right? Then the daily chart here could do what? It comes up, finds a bit of support, breaks down, actually does something like that, gives you a false breakout, then starts the move to the upside, right? I'm pretty sure you guys have seen that before. In fact, I took an amazing trade recently probably about a couple months ago now, based off this one pattern here, right? Because then it was just a continuation. This move here, or this move through here is what? It's just a continuation of that move there and that move through there. Makes sense? So it's just a continuation. That's why traders, if you are trading the markets, if you trade the daily charts, always keep an eye on that weekly chart, because that weekly chart is what? It's always showing you that strength there, right? So please keep going. Go with that weekly chart, because it's much more powerful. A lot of traders get sucked into these levels through here because they think, it's going to drop. And then the market reverses like, oh man, it didn't drop. Okay. So the purpose of me bringing that up is look what happened. Look at this here. What is this here? This is what? A drop in the markets after the support level. Now, there's two different scenarios. What is this level 3, right? So we have all this sort of resistance and support, or resistance and support. Actually, no, just support, right? Not resistance. Resistance is, it's resisting. Support is like it's holding it up, support. Now, it broke down. Breakout. Remember I said before? What is this? This could be a false breakout, which I believe it's going to be. Now, what is a false breakout? A false breakout is when it breaks below support, and then we start to get back something like this, and then we get a breakout like that, right? Or what we could be getting ready for is something like this level through here, right? Something like, we might get something like this, and then we might get something like this, like a big breakout bar like that. Then what's likely to happen? We may get like a bit of a backing pattern towards this level through here somewhere, right? And then we find support, and then we start to make our way up to, I believe, 2,500, possibly even then ultimately 3,000 overall. So this could be a bit of a mock charge before we start to see this move up. So gold is definitely something I'm really watching for. Moving on now through to silver. I'm laughing, guys, because silver's just like, silver's in no man's land. Nothing's going on with silver, right? High, lower high, potential double bottom. We have this resistance level through here. Silver is a dead dog in the markets, right? Silver, complete dead dog in the market. So anyway, traders, there's an update I wanted to share with you across the markets. I've gone full into detail here, and I hope you can see, traders, that and again, that free trading course, guys, in that link in the description. Phase number 2 and phase number 3 is all about the advanced chart reading stuff, and you can see how I break it down here, right? Please go along with markets and notice what I did here, traders. Notice I didn't talk about a stochastic or a MACD or all these indicators, right? What is it? Because the market is actually talking to us. The main thing is the main thing. And one thing I've learned is that the more we can become so good at reading and understanding the main thing, then guess what happens? Then we can start to see this thing then you start to see your trading go up, right? Because where do most traders go wrong? They get confused because one indicator is saying bullish, one indicator saying bearish, one indicator saying right, and then you go through this whole like, I'm so confused right now, right? And that's where, like, in phase number 4 in that trading course, guys, I give you my system, and how I trade my trading system really is just like this. One moving average, right? Because the majority of my trading is actually done from just the chart itself. And this is where traders, like, and again, I've been trading the markets for 20 years myself, and it's taken me a long time, right? It's taken me a long time to figure out that there is so much power in the whole understanding the whole just these markets itself, right? And just go along with what the markets. Now there's education, but indicators are not the way to go. I've just learned that over time, guys. And the success rate can be quite nice, quite high, just by understanding some simple things I talked about today when it comes to the stock market and when it comes to silver, and also especially the gold pattern right now.